Alright, time to use iMovie to put all the pieces together for your famous reader and animator story. This video will show you how to get to the point that you have this look, and it will teach you how to start setting up your pages to match your recordings. By the time you are done with this video, you will have all of this in yours, all your pages. You'll have an ending and a beginning. And down here where I only have 2 green, all of yours will have your recordings on it. And then you will be ready for the second part of the video, which will be putting in your animations and adding background music and exporting it for show. So how to start this project. iMovie is the purple star. If it's not in your dock, go ahead and go to your Finder, to Applications, and iMovie will be in the eyes, of course. Grab iMovie and drag it down and put it in your dock. If for some reason iMovie is not here, then you were not here or did not follow through on downloading iMovie. You can find that in your self-service, and it is inside the part that says MacBook Apps. Look around, get it installed. If you're having any issues with installation, let me know immediately, as tech will need to assist you. When you open iMovie, it will ask you what you want to do. Say that you want to create a movie and just get to the point that you have this black screen going. And this is how you will need to start. To begin with, we need to create an event. Very important. Flashing lights here. To start with, you want to say File, New Event. And it will create an event for today's date, whichever day you are starting this. From there, you can say Create, and you're going to create a movie. This movie is not going to have a theme, as you get to create all of it yourself. So say Create. The name of this movie should be the name of your book. And now you have this look. We need to start by importing your media. Click on Import Media. And you'll end up here. Over here under the left, you'll see Favorites. Click on your name and double click on your documents. Inside your documents, you have a Computer Apps 7 folder, and inside there you should have your Photos folder. I'm double clicking on each of those folders. Because all I have inside my Photos folder are the photos from my book, all labeled with each page number, I say Import All. And then it brings them all in. I need to import more, so I just say Import. Oops. Yeah. And I'm back at Krull. If I click on my Photos folder up here, I go down to Computer Apps 7, and I'm going to go get my QuickTime recordings, and they are all listed there, and they all have their page numbers on them. And their page numbers match my pages that I took of the photos. And I say Import All. So now I have all my recordings and I have all my photos. I'm not going to go get my animations yet. A, you might be still working on animations, and that's okay. And B, we don't quite need them yet. We're going to go down here on the left where it says Content Library. And I want you to go to where it says Titles. You'll see there are quite a few title options. You're looking for one that would let you to do a title and a subtitle. Doesn't matter which one you pick, but you've got to be able to do a title and a subtitle. I've done a variety. I'm going to try this drifting one. When I pick it, I'm going to grab it and I'm just going to drag it down here and drop it. And over here on the left, it's going to come up where I can write. I double click. The title is the name of my story. My subtitle is the author, written by Rebecca. All of a sudden I don't remember her last name. I'll go look it up in a minute. I'm going to press return. Oh, I want a second line. If yours won't let you press return, try an option return because I know it'll give you a line then. Read by Mrs. Krull. Pausing right there while I go look up my author's last name. Alright, got that fixed. Make sure you click out of your text box, otherwise it will not update the box, the writing that you just did. I'm going to hit play just to see what it looks like. I'm fine with that. The other thing I need to do is add a credit at the end. So back here down by titles, there are several different ending credits. Far Away is a very popular one, and scrolling credits is a popular one. Really, you can make just about any of them work. Here's what you need to put in your ending credits. And this one will get sat behind the end. Written by Karen Beaumont. Illustrated by, and then I'll have to go get my illustrator. I'm doing an option return again. And read by Mrs. Krull. I bet I can affect the size of that. Right up here where it says T, you can choose if you want to do a different font, if you want to play with what it looks like. Lots of different options up there. I'll pause while I go get my illustrator's name. Alright, I've got my illustrator's name. That'll be a pretty cool way to end that, I think. Alright, right here you can see my mouse moving. It is currently at the largest zoom it can be, and that is the smallest. Something in the middle is probably what you're going to want to work with. So once you have your heading and your ending, now you're going to grab your book pages. If you took your book's pages in order, this will be easy. You'll just grab and drop behind each one. See, page 1 and 2, page 3 and 4, and I'm just dropping each one in. Oops, that's not page 5 and 6. That's right, because that's the page I forgot. 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and I'm just going to keep going from there. 9. I'm going to pause and get all my pages in here. You go ahead and get all your pages in. Once you have all your pages in, there's one thing that iMovie does that isn't necessarily a good thing. It automatically does a Ken Burns effect on every photo. It puts an auto zoom in it, which sometimes looks good, but what we're doing today, it's not what we want. So I want you to click on the cover of your book, and then I want you to scroll all the way until you get to the last page of your book. Before you click on that page though, I want you to hold your shift key down and then click on that page. This way it has now picked all your pages, and you're going to go right up here to where the crop tool is, click on it, and you're going to get rid of the Ken Burns effect. You're just going to say fit, and that way it'll just make them fit to the window. It will fix all of them at once doing that. And now it is time to start putting your recordings in. Your recordings are most likely in the same order as your book. The recordings are going to be green. There, you can double click and it'll put a yellow line around it. This one's my cover. So I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to put it right underneath my cover. Notice I'm going clear down here where there's the symbol of a music note. I'm going to keep going down until it lands down there. Now what I have to do is I have to make my picture of my page last as long as the recording that it took me to say it. So I click on the picture of the page. Notice I'm getting double arrow, and I'm going to drag until it is the same length as my recording. Then I'm going to go get page 1 and 2. This one says page 1 and 2. I'm going to drop it right underneath that one. Grab page 1 and 2. Drag it to be as long as it took me to read it. There we go. Page 3 and 4. Double click to pick it. Drop it underneath 3 and 4. Drag page 3 and 4 to be as long as the recording. You go ahead and do that for each of yours. I'll pause here while you do that. I'm as far as page 11. I'm still working. Just a couple of things you might want to be aware of as I'm dropping these in and working on them. If you need to walk away from your project, you will see that there's not a spot to say save. That means that's because it is automatically saving as you work. It is still a good idea to take the time to quit iMovie and not just walk away while it's running, so you don't risk damaging it. 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm just going to keep working. Remember, I'm dropping the sound and I'm dragging the photo to be the size of how long it took me to read it. And some of them have more words than others. So you're doing the exact same thing. You're always making the photo to be the length of the recording. I'll pause here and keep working. My page 25 did not have any words on it. I'm making this page more interesting by animating this page. But if that happens to you, because it easily could, when you go to drop the next one, like my page 26, you're just skipping that photo and you're dropping it on the next one. You don't have to lengthen this one, you don't have to change that. We may do that later, but right now we don't have to do anything like that. Okay, keep working until you have all your recordings in. I'm just about done with mine. Alright, now that you have these in underneath each page, you're going to tie the recording to the page so that when we add transitions and music underneath, it doesn't ever mess up your recordings and you don't have to redo any of this part. Here's how you tie the two of them together. You go underneath and you click on the recording and you drag it up until you see how it made a green arrow line and it tied it to the book. So I'm clicking on the recording, dragging it up till it ties it to the book. Click on the recording, drag up until it ties it to the book. Notice how it's moving some of the other stuff, but I'm not letting go until I've got the tie done. Click, drag up, tied. I'll pause while you tie all of yours. As you are tying these, make sure it ties it to the beginning of the picture, not somewhere in the middle or slightly off. Make sure that green line is always right there in the beginning. My very first one did not fit. It moved my second one over. Well, that's because I messed up and my cover is not as long as my recording. So I drug and made it as long, and now it's right. Alright, this is how far the beginning video will take you. So you have got your intro, your beginning slide, your title slide. You've gotten all your photos in. You have your recordings in. We're going to add 2 more pieces and then you are done with part 1. Over here on the left you'll see where it says transitions. Click on transitions. These are the ways that the video will move, and you'll recognize many of them as you watch TV, watch videos on YouTube, Netflix, wherever you're watching video. These are very common transitions. I want you to pick just 2 for now, and these are the transitions that are going to land between your opening title and the cover of your book. All of them show you what they look like and how to get them down there. I'll get rid of the one I put there. There's a black line with nothing, which means drop a transition here. And I'm going to go with mosaic. Drop that in there. You can try all kinds of them to see what you like. To see how it looks, you just take your line and move it. Hit the space bar to play, and it will show you what the transition is going to look like. You're also going to put one way at the end. I'm going to do something different at the end. A ripple sounds good. And then put it right there in that black spot. Back up my arrow, hit play. Oh, that was way cool. I'll totally go with that. Okay, so I have done part 1 of putting together your video. Part 2 when you're done with this part.